people around the world. And, you know, it was a funny thing when Rocco was showing the slide about Bitcoin, because I remember back in 2011, people were asking us, hey, will Bitcoin ever become widely accepted, you know, as a form of payment and a store of value around the world? That was a question that everybody was asking in 2009, 2010, but especially 2011, guys. And what we saw is we saw a bunch of bubbles. Like in June 2011, I still remember when Bitcoin was at 50 cents and it jumped all the way up to $32. And then over 60 days, you know, literally everybody started getting more excited about digital currency. But then over the next few months, it started crashing down to $2, right? And that's what's phenomenal about Bitcoin. It's so volatile, but it's so intriguing because at its genesis, nobody owns it, right? It's decentralized. There's no central bank. There's no government. There's no single individual that owns it. It's peer-to-peer. But guys, you know, obviously the bubbles, they don't lie, right? The valuation, simple laws of supply and demand raise the value. Because again, in 2013, we saw another bubble. The Bitcoin went from $35 all the way up to $266. And then in a few days went back down to 50. But what we saw as a company and as a group of investors, in November 2013, there was a huge bubble that really allowed people to see the value of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology. In November 2013, Bitcoin was trading at $100, and it skyrocketed to 1,242, and then crashed back down to 575. So what I tell people all the time is, hey, look, many people that are visionaries and many people that are investors saw this at its very genesis and started putting money into digital currency, right, into the blockchain technology. And what you're seeing with the Power On Network, ladies and gentlemen, and XECoin, is the very first digital currency that's backed by green, clean, renewable energy. And as Rocco was talking about, everything revolves around energy. We have a voracious appetite for energy as far as globally, right? Not just America, not just Germany, not just India, but around the world. We have about 7.5 billion people on planet Earth, and we have more than 6 billion mobile devices that are connected. So I just ask people this all the time. Do you really think we're going to get less connected anytime soon or have a need for less energy? No. We're going to have more and more of appetite for consumption of energy products. So now, the one thing that Rocco was talking about, guys, is energy waste, right? Because, you know, if you ask yourself every single day, hey, how much energy do you really waste every day? Many of us aren't even aware that 67.8% of the energy produced is wasted due to inefficiencies in the energy infrastructure. In the USA alone, guys, this amounts to over $700 billion in annual losses. And this energy that you have to pay, like every single one of us on this webinar right now have to pay for it. It doesn't matter what country you're in. All our infrastructure is technology from the 40s, 50s, and 60s. And what you have to remember, guys, is a lot of times that the transmission and distribution of energy is not deregulated. It's still regulated by governments. And so the governments pass that loss on to its citizens, on to the clients, right? So when people say, oh, you know, I don't waste that much energy, yeah, you might not waste that much energy, but we all as a combined group have to pay for that inefficiency. And a lot of these stats come from the Lawrence Livermore Laboratory, National Laboratory, guys. You can look all this stuff. I tell people, do your due diligence, do your research, because at the end of the day, this is a technology that's not going to go away. And I tell people, you have the ability in pre-launch to see it before hundreds of millions of people around the world get to see it and partake. Now, the premise, what if you could store energy for a rainy day like gold, but also be able to trade and sell excess power you do not need to others or back to the grid like currency? Now the power really is in your hands, ladies and gentlemen. With the Power On Network and XECoin, you can mine, store, and trade this essential commodity and protect your assets against future downturns in the fiat economy. Everyone will always need energy. And with the Power On Network, you are now the source. Guys, what you have to remember is Bitcoin right now is a lot like the US dollar. In the 1970s, Richard Nixon took us off the gold standard, basically meaning that the US dollar isn't backed by anything, right? The only thing that backs the US dollar right now and Bitcoin is the trust that you and I have in the actual fiat currency. And what you have to recall is when we talked about the bubbles at the beginning, those bubbles, the reason why there's so much volatility is because, again, it's not backed by anything except trust and supply and demand. So in phase one, guys, when we talk about the digitization of energy, really, you know, the conversion of energy into a transferable cryptocurrency, This is where everybody has the ability to not just see it, right, but to take action and actually start sharing the information around the world. Because what's going to happen is many people are going to start to use more blockchain technology for everything from medical records to land titles to you name it, guys, payment solutions. Blockchain technology is going to change the way we live, breathe, and eat. And the reason why we tell people that is we're starting to see a lot of countries, as an example. Haiti was a country that got hit, it got ravaged by hurricanes, right? Well, guess what happened? They lost a ton of paper deeds. Nobody knew who owned what land, and there's a lot of arguments, infighting. But with blockchain technology, now what you're going to start seeing is they're going to start putting those records on the blockchain, right? And because it's not centralized, because nobody owns it, no government, no individual, no bank. The reason why people like it is because it's to be more secure, more open. It's basically an open ledger, right? And it's peer-to-peer. So what I tell people right now, even if you don't understand what Bitcoin is, even if you don't understand what cryptocurrency is, it doesn't matter, because you can still share energy and take advantage of the timing you have. I tell people all the time, when they ask me, well, I just don't get it, right? I ask them, do you use email every day? They go, yes, of course I use email. I go, do you understand what hypertext transfer protocol is? They go, nope. I go, good, because you don't have to, neither do I. We just use the email, right? Same thing with cryptocurrency. We know that it's a form of payment solution. We know that it's evolving into a lot of other things. At its very premise, guys, we don't have to be professors of cryptocurrency. All we have to do is have timing over hundreds of millions of people around the world, right? So now when we talk about the XECoin, remember that it's underwritten with energy developed using the best lithium-ion nanotechnology. Now, it's a hybrid proof of stake and proof of work coin, and the max coin base is 5 billion. Now, guys, this slide right here, what I advise everybody to do is get back with the person that invited you to the webinar. Make sure you get a copy of our PowerPoint just so you can review all these technicalities. Again, I tell people, don't get bogged down in the technicalities. This is something that is very explosive and insightful. The one main thing I want you to understand from this slide is that the wallets for Windows, Mac, Linux, and access to web wallets are already ready, guys. And literally, if you're by a computer, you can even go to www.xecoin.net. Now, another thing I want you to really understand is that the transactions are verifiable on a public blockchain at www.xecoin.info. Now, one of the things you have to remember, guys, when people approach you about cryptocurrencies or alternative coins in general, right, you have to ask them some simple questions. One of the main questions I always ask, hey, what exchange is it traded on? Is it publicly traded, right? Because if it's an internal exchange, then literally those coins have no intrinsic value whatsoever, guys. So I ask right away, hey, where can I see the actual coin, what it's being traded for? What wallets can I download so that I can, buy and sell? And if people can't even give you those simple forms of information, guys, that's not a verifiable cryptocurrency, and I would shy away from it, right? So now, what underwrites XECoin? So supply and demand like Bitcoin or any genuine cryptocurrency. However, we've gone further. Together with Exergonics, we are establishing an independent, audited global energy fund. If you decide to liquidate your XECoin directly, rather than sell it on the open market, the fund will exchange it for usable energy at an equivalent value to our cost of production at that time. Now remember, guys, this is the very first cryptocurrency that's backed by an actual commodity, meaning it's going to have a lot of stability. It's going to raise the price point because you're going to be able to use it on an open exchange, but also for commerce, right? So you throw in the law of supply and demand, you throw in commerce, you throw in stability and the ability for people to exchange it for green, renewable energy in the future. You're talking about a longevity strategy that companies could only dream about, guys. So our vision and mission is pretty simple. It's to create a better, cleaner, and cheaper way to provide energy to the entire world. We provide a vehicle to supply cheaper and cleaner electricity based on smart storage, and we create an opportunity for anyone, anywhere in the world to profit from this revolution in the distribution of energy. Now, we tell everybody, be part of a mission to make a difference in leaving this world in a carbon-free environment, guys, basically to be the solution, right? Now, when we talk about our technology partner, XECoin is one of the leading producers of distributed energy storage system technology, and they're a pioneer in this industry today. Using advanced nanotechnology and proven power management, XECoin is able to provide efficient energy storage systems that are portable, modular, and can easily be tied to existing infrastructure. Now, storing energy is now easier and in your hands, and for those of you that are by a computer or you have a mobile device, I would recommend that you go to our parent company's website, www.XECoinix.com. That's www.xergonics.com. Now, guys, on this slide, as you can tell, this is one of their ESS tower designs. It's a pretty phenomenal piece of technology, guys. You have your battery management system, you have your security software, and then obviously so it doesn't overheat, you have the thermal management software. Now, basically what you're looking at, guys, is stackable battery stages. You know, Rocco had the pleasure of actually going to the plant, the company's plant, and looking at a lot of this technology. But one of the things that he was super excited about was actually learning more about the vertical dock. Guys, these vertical packs are pretty phenomenal. Any vehicle, if you look at this slide, any vehicle that was produced after 2008 has a 6-pin that you can connect this vertigo dock into. So imagine when you're driving your vehicle on a daily basis, guys. Let's say you have a trip and you have to drive 30, 45 an hour away from your home, maybe for business, and you plug in these vertigo docks into your car. Well, as you're driving, your car's producing energy, right? And basically these vertigo docks are storing all that extra energy that's coming from your exhaust, your brakes, alternator, battery, you name it. So as you're basically recharging all these batteries, let's just say that you get to the house and you wanted to plug this into your solar system, right? Or you wanted to charge devices, your iPad, your Android tablet, your iPhone, your Android device. Guys, each one of these little battery packs, when recharged, is 1 kilowatt, meaning that's 1,000 kilowatt hours per battery pack. So if you have 10, you're talking about 10,000 kilowatt hours. Now, the average family household, guys, around the world uses between 2,500 to 3,500 kilowatts. So basically, if you're driving around with your vertigo packs being recharged, you could power your house for a month or two. That's what's phenomenal about this technology, guys. It's going to allow you to do so many robust things, not just for your energy needs, but if you want to sell it back to the grid and make some money, you can do that also. So now, here's the good-looking gentleman that has put all this together, guys. Because of this phenomenal technology that Don Nasanka has created, we have an opportunity like no other right now around the world. Now, Don Nasanka is the chairman, president, and CEO of XECoin. He has 25-plus years of global success. But one of the things that I really enjoy listening about Don, there's so many stories about him, and there's so much edification about him. But one thing that stands out in my mind is that literally he was the founder of the Kokum America, Dow Kokum, which was the first lithium polymer plant in the U.S., and he's rubbed shoulders with our president, Barack Obama. He's a distinguished alumni of the University of Central Missouri. He's had an outstanding career, and he's an originator of the Innovation Campus, which was recognized by President Barack Obama. He was also honored by the Lumina Foundation, which is the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, for his contribution to education and the idea of the Innovation Campus. Now, guys, obviously he's the founder of XECoin, and he's invested in several green companies. But right now, his technology and his research is allowing us to do something that no other company can even touch right now, backing an actual cryptocurrency that's on the open exchange, gaining value as we speak. Yesterday it was trading at about 12.1 to 19 cents. And remember, guys, it's been on the market just a few days, right? So this is exciting times, not just for you and your families, but for everyone around the world. So now when we talk about the new economics of energy storage, obviously know one thing, guys, energy storage can make money right now. Finding opportunities requires digging into some real-world data, but at the end of the day, we understand that more and more people are trying to leave the grid, if you will. They're trying to be more self-sufficient, self-sustaining. And because of the problems with our utility grids around the world, you know, infrastructure, software upgrades, more and more people are looking into solar, wind, biomass, hydroelectricity, right? And so McKinsey, this company, they basically did some research and they said, hey, look, the future is really energy storage. because we produce a lot of energy, but so much is wasted. For those companies that can really help us with those inefficiencies, they're going to lead us into the next century and obviously have a longevity strategy over everybody else in the market. So what's the risk, guys? If the sun stops shining, the wind stops blowing, and the water stops flowing, then the world has stopped turning, right? And this is one of the main reasons we as a company and as a group, as a big family, are working towards a better tomorrow, because obviously you want to leave this world in a better place for your children and your children's children. Now remember, renewable, sustainable, and environmentally conscious, all backed by a solid, proven business model that rewards people for making this a better world to live in for today and for generations to come. That's basically our thinking, guys. This is why we are working so hard to get this information into people's hands around the world, because its time has come. So now how do we make this all work, guys? If you look at this shipping container, this basically is a shipping container that XECoin makes. And guys, what you have to remember is XECoin provides the missing link to the advancement of innovative, clean energy solutions around the world. This one container right here, guys, can literally produce 1 megawatt, per hour. And if you put 2 of these containers together, and they're producing megawatts every single day, they could power up between 160 and 250 residential homes. So imagine countries where they have villages where they have no power, right? Imagine, states that have been ravaged by natural disasters and the utilities are struggling to get the power back up. You could basically launch these containers, these energy storage containers, into any country, any state, and, let's say there's a natural disaster and people needed energy. You could put these in any environment and they would literally power homes, thousands of homes, hundreds of thousands of homes if need be. But the beautiful thing about it, guys, is that literally, whether it's a conventional energy plant, biomass, hydro, solar, wind, they can literally just plug into the XECoin technology, and we would capture 67% of the wasted energy. Obviously, it would be cheaper, cleaner, better energy for our customers, but the main thing you have to remember is this energy is going to be backing up our XECoin for decades to come. So when we say that you're in the right place at the right time, that is a total understatement, right? Your timing right now is so phenomenal because there's people that don't even know what energy storage is. They don't even know what any cryptocurrency is, and you're seeing this before everybody else, guys. So now don't call it a dream, call it a plan, because ultimately, now let's talk about ways that this will benefit you and your family financially. So on this slide, guys, we're talking about our power plans. You have everything from a power plan 1 to a power plan 8. Now, all these prices are in euros. So as an example, if let's say today you decided to come in and purchase your power plan, let's just say one of our most featured plans right now that people are gravitating to, guys, is the Power Plan 5. And remember, all these are price points in euros. So the 5,099 euro pack comes with 50,000 XECoins. Now it's got a personal sales and a group sales volume of 5,000. The binary cap, guys, is 30,000 per week. So what the binary cap means is it's a binary compensation model, guys, with basically you'll have a dual team, one on the left and one on the right. You get paid on your pay leg, and the cap for the Power Plan 5 is 30,000. If you look at the binary percentages, you can earn between 6 and 12% on your pay leg. But one of the things you have to remember, guys, whether you're purchasing a Power Plan 5 today or a Power Plan 1, for anybody that purchases a power plan before the end of the year, on December 31st, the company will double your coins. That's right. The company will double your coins. So let's just say that you got a Power Plan 3 today, right? And you had 8,000 coins. And, on December 31st, that 8,000 is going to turn into 16,000. Talk about a phenomenal, you're talking about a financial grand slam, because if I asked you today, hey, guys, knowing what you know about Bitcoin and the research you've done with cryptocurrency, if I said, would you rather have 8,000 Bitcoin today or 16,000? Pretty much 99.999% of you with that little line on top would say, hey, give me the 16,000, right? So let's talk about the way you get paid, guys. This is called the direct sales bonus. And basically, you don't even have to spend $1 to come into our company and make money, guys. Obviously, people that are purchasing the power plans is because they understand what happened with Bitcoin and they want to take advantage of their timing and get as many coins as they can before they start going up in valuation. But let's just say that you came in for free, totally free, right? Not a dollar coming out of your pocket, no risk, all reward. On the first generation, you would automatically qualify for a 5% bonus on any pack that you brought in, any power plans, any products or services. Because remember, guys, the digital product is our first product, right? It's phase one. Phase two, we're talking about physical products. And so as somebody that just came in for free or purchased a power plan, you would qualify for 5% on your first generation. Now, as soon as you hit 6,000 in personal sales on your second generation, that would be a 3% bonus. And as soon as you hit 10,000 in personal sales, you'd qualify for another 2%. Now, remember, guys, when we talk about generations, we're not talking about levels. I mean, you could literally, this could be between 20 and 30 levels per generation, right? And when you hit 100,000 in personal sales, you're going to trigger something that's so phenomenal, because I've been asking a lot of people in the industry, hey, have you seen infinity matching bonuses like what Power On Network has? And people literally are like, no, never. So on this infinity bonus, guys, as soon as you hit 100,000 personal sales, from your fourth generation to infinity, remember, fourth generation all the way to infinity. Infinity doesn't stop at level 200, level 2,000, level 20,000, infinity to infinity. You're going to qualify for 1% on everybody all the way down your binary teams. I mean, guys, that's phenomenal. And obviously, all Infinity direct sales bonuses paid down to the next member in your team at the same level or higher. And in order to qualify for that infinity bonus, guys, you have to have a Power Plan 4 package or higher. And again, this is why we tell people you can totally come in for free, but if you want to maximize the compensation model, obviously there's certain prerequisites required, right? So now let's talk about the team bonus, or the dual team bonus, as many of you know. This is a binary compensation model, and it obviously starts with you sponsoring one person on your left and sponsoring one person on your right. So as an example, let's say that you have less than 2,000 personal sales. Every single time you got paid on your pay leg, because remember, one leg considered your power leg or your building leg, right? And one leg's your work leg or your pay leg. So let's say that you have less than 2,000 personal sales, you would get paid 6% on your pay leg. Now, as soon as you have more than 2,000 personal sales, your bonus on your pay leg jumps up to 8%, and as soon as you have more than 5,000 personal sales, now you've got a nice bump up to 10%. Now, obviously, guys, all these qualifications, once you achieve them, they're set in stone, right? They don't fluctuate up and down. And as soon as you hit 25,000 in personal sales, now you're looking at a 12% bonus on your pay leg, guys. So what you have to remember is, ultimately, in order for you to win with the dual team bonus, it's just about sharing some information, guys. Literally, how many people do you know right now that use electricity? Pretty much everybody, right? How many people do you know that pay for things, that use payment solutions? Pretty much everybody, right? So the ability for you just to share some information and make some money by building a team globally, that's a phenomenal concept. So let's talk about this infinity matching bonus. Guys, on your first level, on your first generation, you're talking about a 5% infinity bonus. On your second generation, another 5. Your third and fourth, another 5. And the simple qualification is you just have to reach 2,000 euro in personal sales. Now, what I want you to really focus on today, guys, and if you don't remember anything about what I talked about, look at this part of the compensation model. This infinity bonus, from your fifth generation to infinity, as soon as you hit 250,000 in personal sales, right, you earn 5% as an infinity match, all the way down to infinity. Now, remember, guys, you're talking about your entire team all the way down until you obviously reach somebody else that hit 250,000, right, in personal sales. But if you have people that are hitting 250,000 personal sales in your team, obviously you're doing something right, and obviously you're going to be making some money. Now, the infinity matching bonus is paid down to the next member in your team at the same qualification or higher. So remember, guys, when we talk about generations, it doesn't mean levels. Literally, generations can mean 10, 20, 30 levels. And at the end of the day, guys, we want you to understand that they're putting a lot of money. They're basically opening up a fire hose to put more money in your e-wallets because they want you to win. They want you to create financial abundance for you, your families, and others around the world. So let's talk about some payout rules, guys. Obviously, every single Friday, 60% is going to be paid into your current account or your cash account. Now, you'll be able to withdraw that to your bank, your debit card, or use that in our shop. And remember, guys, literally, this company has payment solutions set up where you can download your wallets already You have access to Easy Pay MasterCard. And if you know anything about companies, guys, one of the hardest things that they have to do is find a payment solution for their marketing partners. Now, the Power On network has literally gone to that next level already, guys. In your back office right now, when you register today, you'll be able to go in and set up your O-Wallet. You'll be able to go in and access your Easy Pay MasterCard. And remember, guys, as you get your commissions every Friday, you can literally spend them. You can transfer them to your Easy Pay MasterCard, put them in your bank, purchase power vouchers for your people in your organization. It's your money. You get to do whatever you want with it, right? And then 40% is going to go into a reserve account. Basically, 40% is going to be paid out every Friday to buy more XECoins. So obviously, you know, if you want to sell your coins, we have people waiting to buy them. The beautiful thing about it is we're creating supply and demand. We're trying to get as many coins, me personally, right? Because I know what happened with Bitcoin, and I know that this is something that is even more explosive, more technologically advanced than Bitcoin. So some of us see it before it happens, right? Other of us are kind of sitting on the fence, but many of you are going to take action today and this week, and you're going to build a massive business around the world. So now, let's talk about the XE Loyalty Award, because you can customize your own returns, basically. Just like I said, if you want to sell your XE coins after your first 60 days, you may freely sell or trade 10% of your stake each and every month. And we have people ready to buy, right? So it's a beautiful thing. Now, what you have to remember is that every month in year one, your coins that are stored in your cold wallet, you'll receive a loyalty award of an additional 5 to 12% through controlled release of the company's stake. Now, guys, you're talking about a minimum 60% per annum, right? So, again, for those of us that are holding our coins, because we know that as supply and demand kicks in, as commerce kicks in, as people are trading this for clean, green, renewable energy, that price point is going to start going up. It's already starting to have some movement in the public exchange, guys. C-CEX.com, C-CEX.com, and view what we're being traded at on a daily basis. So what's even more exciting for those of us that obviously have a longevity strategy, right? The Smart Reward. All coins in the cold wallet between year 1 to 3 will receive the most aggressive award of an additional 20 to 40% through controlled release of the company's stake. Guys, this is an estimated minimal capital growth of 200%. So again, just because you saw before other people, and just because you have a loyalty to the company is going to be very aggressive in giving you more coins so that you can have more value, right? Again, when I ask everyone, and you can write this down, would you rather have 1,000 Bitcoin or 2,000 Bitcoin? That's a simple question that all of y'all can answer, right? And in the future, when we ask you, like a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, hey, would you rather have 10,000 XE coins or 20,000 XE coins? The answer would be very, very easy, right? So now let's talk about some power rewards, guys, the best of the best. Many of you do a phenomenal job of sharing the information, and many of you build businesses around the world and marketing teams around the world. But look at these rewards, guys. Everything from a vertical dock to a smartwatch from Tag Heuer to a smart bike, an electric bike, to a Hublot, to a BMW i8. Guys, I don't know if you know this, but those BMW i8s, they're electric cars, and they're about $180,000, about 150,000 euros. And believe me, if I'm going to work hard and somebody's going to give me a reward, and you know, if I can achieve it, if I can believe it first and foremost, I can achieve it, right? So what I'm focusing in on, guys, and all of you, I challenge you to focus in on this last part of the slide. If you see this, this is a villa, guys. Basically, this reward is a 1 million euro villa, and they will place it anywhere in the world that you so choose, and whatever 1 million euros purchases, that's what your villa will look like. And the reason why I want you to focus on that, guys, is because it's time for you to start dreaming again. It's time for you to get out, get up, and start basically going after your dreams, right? Many of us have dreams and things we want to accomplish. Many of us have had success. Many of us have had small failures here and there, but we haven't given up. But literally, you're looking at a company, guys, that's going to take you to that next level. It's going to give you the support, the training you need. And, you know, at the end of the day, the levels, there's only 9 levels to achieve. So these power reward qualifications are pretty simple to achieve, guys. And what I want you to focus on is, look, once you start hitting gold, you're talking about the vertical dock, 150,000 euro group sales on your lesser leg, and 25,000 in personal sales. Then we start talking about a smart watch and an electronic bike as an emerald, a Hublot King Power watch as a ruby, a 50,000-year-old pension fund as a sapphire. And again, I want you to focus on that BMW i8 Spider and that smart villa, that 1 million-year-old villa, guys. Because again, as you hit diamond and royal diamond, unless you can really believe that you can do something in life, guys, you'll never be able to achieve it. And right now, many of you have timing. I mean, there'll be hundreds of millions of people that look at this company, look at this technology, use it in the future, and they'll have to get that information from people like you and me. So when I tell you that you are in the right place at the right time, guys, I want you to write that down and think about that every day over the next year, 2, 3 years as you build a massive business online and organically. So now let's talk about phase 2. We're talking about the physical rollout, guys, of our products with XECoin. Now, as we talked about before, the Vertigo docks, those are phenomenal. Literally, to be able to power your cell phone, right, your iPad, your home, these kiosks, people being able to sell their excess power back to the grid, you know, apps, smart apps that basically track everything, right, tell you where everything's at, how much power you have left. There's some amazing technology that's backing our company, and that's really what's exciting many of us, guys, because at the end of the day, we understand one thing. Cryptocurrency is in its infancy. Energy storage is in its infancy, and we are getting involved at the very precipice, right? We're getting involved before anybody really has gone out and put those two mediums together and hit a financial grand slam. But the timeline's already defined, guys, because the track record in the industry, and they have a well-thought-out plan, right? If you look at the slide, in 2003, they were working with nanocell development and automotive powertrains. In 2008, they were already working with defense aerospace applications. Obviously, in 2010, we started getting into battery management systems and energy storage system development. In 2012, we started looking at solar power purchase agreements. And obviously, in 2014, we're looking at vehicle systems. But now, let's come to present day, guys. 2016, the company acquired Coda Energy. And what that means for us is now we have a whole slew of technology that's going to be coming out backing our digital currency, right? Because remember, the technology is what's going to drive, it's going to drive us in the future, guys, because it's going to give us stability, it's going to give us value. But one of the things that I was reading about is this cube deployment. In 2017, which is a few days away, these cubes will basically be able to go into any home around the world. And no matter if you're in a deregulated territory or your territory is regulated by the government or your local utility, this cube will allow you to save 20 to 30% on your electricity bills, guys. It will monitor everything, smart thermostat, lights, windows, you name it. The cube development is going to be phenomenal. So another thing I want you to remember about this presentation tonight, guys, many of you live in countries where solar is making a big push, right? Governments are starting to ask people to purchase more solar systems, more wind, hydro, biomass, you name it. Again, the reason why the governments are doing this is because they have to spend a ton of money when the grid go out, because that's, remember, that's not deregulated. All the utilities are regulated by the government. But when they have massive outages, who has to pay for it? We as citizens and the government. So this home system that you're looking at that is pretty close to being launched, in the future, people will be able to basically cut the cord from the public utility. They'll basically be their own micro utility, guys. They'll be able to store power and use it anytime they so choose. If they want to sell it back to the grid, they can. But you're going to start to see a lot of these home systems being developed around the world. And our company is a pioneer in energy storage, guys. So remember, you're seeing this, the timeline before everybody else. You're starting to get a better feel for what we do as a company and our technology. If this technology doesn't excite you, check your quotes. Because then in 2019 and 2020, we're talking about vertical kiosks. We're talking about power purchase agreements with other renewables. I mean, guys, literally, again, don't forget, we are in 2016, and we have a lot of growth to come. We just ask that you be part of our growth, right? Because you're seeing it before everybody else. Now, remember, the power is in your hands, guys. Get back with the person that invited you to this webinar today. Make sure you lock in your position. Make sure you get your power plan. It doesn't matter if you get a power plan 1, power plan 8. We just want you to come in, lock arms, and move this engine forward, right? Because at the end of the day, cryptocurrency is not going to go anywhere, and neither is energy storage, nor is renewable energy. These things are growing every single day, every single month, and we want you to take advantage of that fully with us, guys. And do not forget, for all of you that are upgrading and getting your power plans today, the company on December 31st is going to double the coins in everybody's packages. So take advantage of that, guys, because literally if you're thinking about getting a pack in January and you're missing out on getting, you know, a couple extra coins, like 1,000, 2,000, whatever package you're getting, whether you're getting the PP1 with 1,000 coins and you get an extra 1,000, or the PP5 with 50,000 and you're going to get 100,000 on December 31st, take advantage of that offer. That is an offer that I tell people all the time, you cannot pass up. So guys, once again, my name is Max Garza III. I'm calling in out of North America. We thank you very much for spending some time with us this morning, this afternoon, or this evening. We hope that you get back with the person that invited you to this webinar today and lock in your position. Make sure you share this information with everybody, guys. You'll see these videos on YouTube, on the Facebook groups. Make sure you share it with people, right? Because you never know who's looking for a financial grand slam. That being said, have a phenomenal Sunday afternoon. My name's Max. We will talk again next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. That will be our next scheduled webinar. And do not forget that we have a global world tour going on right now. Yesterday in Oslo, they were sending pictures. They had a packed house, guys. So the world tour has started. One of the dates that I have circled is December 10th in the United Kingdom in London, guys. I have people from Scotland, London, you name it. I have people from India going to the United Kingdom because they want to find out more about our technology and our digital currency. So don't forget, this business is very simple. All you got to do is share it with a few people. And if you help them get what they want, as Zig Ziglar gets, you can have everything you want. That being said, this webinar is now adjourned. Have a wonderful afternoon. Goodbye, guys.